I'm Nicole Brigandy.
And I'm Robbie Swale.
And this is the second in our video series on mastering your personal brand. Today's topic is defining your personal brand.
So mastering your personal brand is an ongoing process. You'll always have to come back to it at some point. But we think some parts of the process stand the test of time more than others, and one of those is define.
So what we'll be going through today are some practical tips from the gurus in the field. We'll give you a brief overview of the unique brand model from the first video, and then ultimately use that as a basis for an exercise that will get you started.
So we're going to start off with what we think are 3 key lessons for mastering your personal brand. The first is that your brand is the promise you make implicitly or explicitly. So this means it is what you say. It's the explicit part. It's what you say in person and in writing, but it's also the implicit part. It's how you say that. It's how you behave. It's what people know you for. So this means that we all have a personal brand because we've got one implicitly, whether we're mastering it or not.
The second lesson is eliminate the F word. So you might be surprised to find that the F word is not actually the expletive that may have popped into your mind initially. The F stands for fine. Nobody wants to be fine. Nobody wants to be adequate. Great brands are not built on mediocre. So you really need to think about, what is it that makes you unique and brilliant? What do you do brilliantly? What makes you great? So as we go through the exercise later, don't bother writing down all the things that are just okay. Think about the things that you do brilliantly.
And the third lesson is be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And there are many ways why this is important in mastering your personal brand. It's important for being brilliant and eliminating the F word. It's important for coherence when you're demonstrating your personal brand, which we'll get to in a later video. But one of the starkest ways that I see this is when you're trying to compete with other people based on their strengths. It can be tiring and it can be demoralizing. So instead, build your brand on the things which only you have, on the things which make you special. Be yourself.
Okay, so now that we have some practical tips in our back pocket, let's do a quick recap of the unique brand model. So at the heart of this is self. This is your natural disposition and what makes you innately you. The second level is about values and beliefs. These are the parameters in which you define your integrity. This is the rules that you live by and what you filter the world around you with. And finally, it's contribution. So this is how you go out and demonstrate your brand day to day and how you make an impact on the world around you. So we're going to use this model as a foundation for the next exercise.
Now we know it can be a challenge, especially in cultures where bigging yourself up isn't really the done thing, to understand and to get into detail and then to get talking about what makes you unique. So we're here to help. We've got a set of questions which we'll show in a sec, which can help you get into the detail of what makes you unique. And we're going to do this by looking back at your career and your life, joining the dots going backwards, thinking about all the things which put you together and make you who you are. So what we'd like to do is, in just a sec when we tell you, pause the video, answer at least one of the questions for each section of the unique brand model. Take 5 minutes, take longer if you're enjoying it and it's fun and interesting. And then unpause the video, come back and we'll do a little bit of reflecting, and then we'll give you some challenges on how to take all this work forward.
Great. So if you're ready, go ahead and pause the video now. Welcome back. So how was it to fill out those questions? Did any particular things pop out for you? Did you notice any patterns? Maybe it was really easy to go through, or maybe it was a little bit more challenging.
We've found that the people who find it easier to answer these kind of questions and do these kinds of exercise have often done some kind of work like this before. Maybe just reflection for themselves on what matters to them and where they've come from, or sometimes even work on specifically their personal brand before. And that's another example of how the define section and getting really clear on what makes you unique and your brand really can stand the test of time.
So if you're just starting this kind of stuff for the first time, use this as your starting point, your foundation to kind of build on. If you've done this kind of work before, this is a great time to reflect. Think about where you've come from, how you've grown, what's changed that's made you who you are now, and how you want to continue this journey.
And we'd encourage you to go deeper. We'd encourage you to spend some more time on this, to think of the other questions that we haven't asked you that will tell us and you something unique about you, about yourself or your values or your contribution. If you're really struggling, ask somebody else. Ask somebody else these questions and get them to answer them about you. And, who knows what will come out.
So we have another exercise waiting for you in the next video that helps to build on this foundation that we've started today, to think about how you talk about yourself and stand out in a crowd. So we hope that you'll join us for that and continue on in the process of mastering your personal brand. Thank you.